Hey guys, how's it going? Now we're going to look at maps, and then we're going to move to concurrency, which is one of the last videos that we'll do on Go before we start actually using the standard library. So come with me to the screen. Let's go ahead and declare a map. So var m is going to be a map of strings to integers. Now maps are a dictionary, obviously, so it's going to take a string and it's going to return an integer. We do this in JavaScript normally using objects. Of course that we also have maps. Frequently I've seen, you reducing an array into an object if you want to index by some key in the elements. Like if you want to have all the users by their ID in some sort of object. Obviously there's no objects in Go. You have structs, but they are strongly typed. So we're gonna have to use map. The zero value of a map is nil, okay? So m is gonna be nil. Now there are two ways to initialize a map, and they're basically the same as we did with slices. You can either do a map literal, or you can use the make function. So I can do this. M is a map of strings to integers, and then I just start declaring Gabriel is 30, and say Amy is 28. If I remove the comma here, this is gonna error out. So Go demands a trailing comma here. So this is actually required, which is great because whenever you want to add a value, you don't have to go to the line above and add a comma like you have to do in JSON, for instance. You always have a comma everywhere. And I realize I'm going on a tangent, but I think it's just a cool feature of Go. Like it's pragmatic, like I said in the first video, right? Where every line is the same. It ends with a comma, even if it's the last one. The last line is not different from the line above. Just little pragmatic things that I'm going to be calling out as I see them. So, okay, this is one way. The other way, if you don't have the values initially, is to use the make function. Notice that this is the same as with the slice, except that now instead of just having a value, we have a key value. Let's use the make function. And this is the way that you do it with the make function. Now I'm just gonna drop this line and I'm gonna use the colon assignment to declare. And so let's look at how you would use the map. So you know that in JavaScript you can do either the dot or the brackets with the strings. In Go you can just use the bracket with the string, and if you want to access, for instance, the key Gabriel inside this map, you do it like this. You're gonna set the value 30 to it, and then we're gonna retrieve it, and then we're gonna set Amy to 28, and then we're gonna read it like this. Very obvious. If you're a JavaScript user, this should be normal to you. Then if you want to delete something from the map, we call the delete function. We pass the map and then we pass the key we want to delete, and then we're gonna read something that was deleted. This is a map of strings to integers. Now integers cannot be nil, okay? Only pointers can be nil. This is important. Only pointers can be nil. Because this is an integer, when I try to read this can't return nil, okay? It has to return the zero value, so it's gonna return 0. But then, if it's gonna return 0 when it doesn't exist, how do I know if it's returning 0 because it's Gabriel's age? In case you haven't noticed, this is ages. Because Gabriel's age is 0, or because Gabriel is not present. So here, you can see that I'm reading the value like this, but you could do this. Okay, and you just read the value. But if you add a second argument here, this is whether the value is present in the map or not. So that's how you know if my age is 0 because it's gonna be true, or if it's 0 because it didn't find the element in the map. So let's go ahead and run this. And you'll see now that here, like I said, it returns 0 in this one because the element is not present in the array. And here it's going to return 0 and false because it's not present. Now, one last thing I want to show you is, let's print you can also know the number of keys by doing the len operator like you do in a slice. And if we don't delete this, we're gonna have 2 keys, okay? So that's all you need to know about maps. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one talking about concurrency.